There exists a symbol so ancient, so mysterious, that it has transcended time, culture, and civilization. It is found carved into temple walls, hidden in the margins of alchemical manuscripts, and whispered about in secret societies. A serpent, coiled in an eternal loop devouring its own tail. The Ouroboros. But this is no mere symbol. It is a riddle, a paradox, a key to understanding the nature of existence itself. What does it mean for a creature to consume itself, yet never be destroyed? What secret truth lies hidden within this cycle of endless self-renewal? And could it hold the answers to the greatest mysteries of life, death, and the universe? In this video, we will journey deep into the esoteric meaning of the Ouroboros, peeling back the layers of its hidden wisdom. We will explore its origins in the ancient world, its connection to alchemy and spiritual transformation, and how it reveals the eternal dance of creation and destruction. More importantly, we will uncover how this ancient emblem is not just a concept to ponder, but a living principle you can apply in your own spiritual journey. Prepare yourself, for this is not just a lesson. It is an initiation into a secret knowledge that has been hidden in plain sight for millennia. The Ouroboros is calling. Are you ready to unlock its mystery? To truly understand the power of the Ouroboros, we must step back into the shadows of antiquity, where mystics, philosophers, and sages first gazed upon this symbol and recognized its profound significance. The serpent that devours its own tail is not confined to one culture. It emerges in civilizations across time, appearing as if it was whispered into the minds of humanity by the universe itself. The earliest known depiction of the Ouroboros comes from ancient Egypt, dating back to the 14th century BCE in the enigmatic Book of the Netherworld, found within the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun. Here, the serpent encloses the sun, god Ra, and Osiris, signifying the unity of beginning and end, the perpetual cycle of life, death, and rebirth. To the Egyptians, the Ouroboros was a cosmic force, both creator and destroyer, the endless renewal of the divine order. But Egypt was not alone in its reverence for the serpent of eternity. The ancient Greeks inherited the symbol, embedding it into their mystical and philosophical traditions. The philosopher Heraclitus spoke of the eternal flux of existence, a world in constant transformation, much like the Ouroboros, forever consuming, forever recreating. In Gnosticism, an esoteric tradition that sought to uncover hidden divine truths, the Ouroboros represented the infinite cycle of spiritual awakening, each ending leading to a new beginning, each destruction birthing new understanding. And then there were the alchemists, those seekers of the great work, who saw in the Ouroboros the very essence of transformation. In the Chrysopoeia of Cleopatra, a famous alchemical text from the 2nd century, the Ouroboros is inscribed with the words, hen to pan, Greek for one is the all. This simple phrase holds the secret of unity, the understanding that all things, no matter how separate they may seem, are part of the same eternal whole. Even in the distant East, echoes of the Ouroboros emerge. The concept of samsara, the wheel of birth, death, and rebirth in Hinduism and Buddhism, mirrors the endless loop of the serpent. In Taoism, the interplay of yin and yang, opposing yet inseparable forces, resonates with the dual nature of the Ouroboros, creation and destruction as two faces of the same reality. Across cultures, across epochs, the Ouroboros has whispered its message, that the universe is cyclical, that endings and beginnings are one, and that within destruction lies the seed of creation. But beyond its historical presence, what does this symbol reveal about the deeper nature of reality itself? This is where the true mystery begins. The Ouroboros is more than an ancient emblem. It is a living principle, an eternal truth embedded in the fabric of existence itself. But to grasp its meaning, we must shift our perspective, stepping beyond the ordinary and into the realm of the esoteric. At its core, the Ouroboros represents the paradox of unity and duality, the idea that all things are simultaneously whole and fragmented, eternal and fleeting, self-sustaining yet self-consuming. Imagine a flame devouring the wick of a candle. The fire consumes, yet in its destruction it also produces light. The Ouroboros teaches us that this is the very nature of reality. Everything must consume itself to transform. This is the rhythm of existence mirrored in nature, in the cosmos, and in our own lives. Stars collapse upon themselves only to explode into supernova, birthing new galaxies. The seasons cycle endlessly. Spring's renewal only possible because of winter's death. Even our own bodies are in constant renewal, shedding old cells so new ones can take their place. We are all Ouroboros, constantly dying and being reborn with each passing moment. But the most profound mystery of the Ouroboros lies in its self-referential nature. It is a serpent that devours its own tail, feeding upon itself, sustaining itself. This is a hidden clue to one of the greatest esoteric truths. The universe is self-created. In spiritual traditions, this concept appears in different forms. Brahman in Hindu philosophy, the Tao in Taoism, the primordial one in Hermeticism, all point to the same realization. Existence has no external cause. It is an infinite loop, an eternal cycle with no true beginning and no ultimate end. Yet the Ouroboros is not just a symbol of cosmic cycles. It is also a reflection of the inner journey. The mystic, the alchemist, the spiritual seeker, all who walk the path of self-realization, must, in a sense, devour themselves. The ego must be confronted, broken down, and restructured. Old beliefs must be destroyed to make way for higher understanding. The self must be sacrificed, only to be reborn at a higher state of consciousness. This is the great work of inner alchemy, and the Ouroboros is its guiding emblem. But what happens when the cycle is broken? When the serpent stops devouring itself? This is where the mystery deepens even further, revealing the final secret hidden within the Ouroboros. The Ouroboros, in its endless loop, teaches us that destruction and creation are not opposing forces but rather two aspects of the same eternal truth. Yet, if we look deeper, a greater mystery emerges, one that transcends the cycle altogether. The serpent devours itself, symbolizing the perpetual transformation of all things. But this raises a profound question. What happens when the cycle is transcended? When the Ouroboros no longer feeds upon itself, does it cease to exist? Or does it ascend into something beyond the known limits of reality? This is where the hidden esoteric meaning of the Ouroboros is revealed. While it represents the cycles of nature, time, and the cosmos, it also holds the key to escaping these cycles. In Eastern traditions, this is akin to moksha in Hinduism or nirvana in Buddhism, the liberation from the endless wheel of samsara, the birth, death, rebirth cycle. The Ouroboros symbolizes not just the prison of cyclical existence, but also the path to freedom from it. In the alchemical tradition, the Ouroboros is often associated with the final stage of the great work, the philosopher's stone, the state of spiritual enlightenment where the alchemist transcends duality and achieves wholeness. The serpent consuming itself represents the dissolution of the ego, the death of false identity, and the rebirth into divine consciousness. Once this process is complete, the cycle is no longer necessary. The seeker becomes one with the infinite, no longer bound by time, space, or illusion. This idea is mirrored in non-duality, the realization that the self and the universe are one and the same, that there is no separation between observer and observed. The Ouroboros, then, is a mirror of consciousness itself. In devouring its own tail, it teaches us that the self is both creator and destroyer, that our reality is a continuous unfolding of the same essence. However, in the modern world, most people are trapped within the Ouroboros without realizing it. They repeat the same patterns, the same habits, the same thoughts, never questioning, never evolving. They are asleep within the cycle, unaware that the very force that sustains them is also keeping them bound. The true initiate, however, recognizes the cycle for what it is, a tool, not a prison. By understanding the Ouroboros, one can use it as a ladder rather than a cage. This brings us to the most important question. How do we apply this ancient wisdom in our own lives? How do we consciously work with the Ouroboros to break free from stagnation, evolve spiritually, and step into our highest potential? The answer lies in the practical application of its teachings. The Ouroboros is not just an ancient symbol, it is a living principle woven into our daily existence. Understanding its esoteric meaning is one thing, but to truly benefit from its wisdom, we must apply it in our spiritual journey. The question is, how can we use the knowledge of the Ouroboros to transform our lives? 1. Embracing the cycle of death and rebirth within yourself. The Ouroboros teaches that growth requires destruction. Just as the serpent must consume itself, we too must be willing to let go of old versions of ourselves. This means breaking limiting patterns. Identify habits, beliefs, or emotional cycles that keep you trapped. Are you repeating the same mistakes? Engaging in toxic relationships? Stuck in negative thinking? Recognize these as aspects of the self that must be devoured for transformation. Shadow work. The Ouroboros reminds us that we must confront our inner darkness. Shadow work involves diving deep into suppressed emotions, hidden fears, and unresolved traumas. By acknowledging and integrating these aspects, we undergo a psychological alchemy, transmuting pain into wisdom. Embracing change. Most people resist change because it feels like death. The truth is, every moment, a part of you is dying, and a new part is being born. Accept this natural rhythm. When something in your life is ending, trust that a new phase is beginning. 2. Applying Ouroboric alchemy in everyday life. Alchemy is not just about turning lead into gold. It is about turning the lead of your current self into the gold of your highest potential. Here's how to apply Ouroboric alchemy. Rituals of renewal. Engage in personal rituals that symbolize death and rebirth. This could be as simple as fasting, meditation, or setting new intentions on a full moon. The key is to consciously mark the end of an old phase and the beginning of a new one. The art of self-consumption. Just as the Ouroboros feeds upon itself, we can feed on our past experiences to grow stronger. Reflect on your past struggles. What lessons did they teach you? How can you use that wisdom as nourishment for the future? The power of transmutation. The Ouroboros teaches that nothing is ever truly lost. It is simply transformed. If you are going through pain, failure, or loss, ask yourself, how can I use this to fuel my next evolution? 3. Escaping the Ouroboros, the path to liberation. While the Ouroboros represents cycles, it also hints at the ultimate truth, the ability to transcend them. How do we break free from endless repetition? Practice self-awareness. Most people live unconsciously, repeating the same experiences without realizing it. By cultivating self-awareness through meditation, journaling, or introspection, you begin to notice your own loops. Detach from the illusion of time. The Ouroboros symbolizes eternity. Most suffering comes from attachment to the past or fear of the future. By realizing that everything is part of a grand cycle, you develop detachment and inner peace. Reach the center of the circle. The Ouroboros is a circle, but the key to escaping the cycle is finding the stillness at the center. Practices like deep meditation, mindfulness, or breathwork allow you to step outside of time, experiencing reality as it truly is, beyond beginning and end. The Ouroboros is not here to enslave us. It is here to teach us. When we learn to work with its wisdom, we no longer fear destruction, because we understand that every ending carries the seed of a new beginning. We no longer cling to cycles, because we recognize that true mastery comes when we step beyond them. And so, the final question remains. Will you remain trapped within the loop, or will you awaken and use it as a key to your own liberation? The Ouroboros is more than an ancient symbol. It is a mystical blueprint for understanding reality, the self, and the hidden forces that shape existence. It represents the eternal cycles that govern life, yet also reveals the secret of transcending them. We began by exploring its origins, tracing its meaning through ancient civilizations and esoteric traditions. We uncovered how it reflects the cosmic dance of destruction and creation, mirroring everything from the cycles of nature to the depths of our own psyche. We saw how the Ouroboros teaches the path of transformation, the necessity of consuming the old to give birth to the new, both within and beyond ourselves. But the ultimate revelation of the Ouroboros is this: we are not prisoners of the cycle. We are its creators. When we become conscious of the loops that govern our lives, we gain the power to break free from them. When we embrace change, transmutation, and self-awareness, we step outside the wheel and into a higher state of being. So now the question remains for you, the seeker. What part of yourself needs to be devoured and transformed? What old skin must you shed to step into your highest potential? This is the wisdom of the Ouroboros, the secret key hidden in plain sight. Will you use it?